The relationship between politics, the state, and religion has been a subject of much debate, especially when we consider the evolution of Christianity and its relationship with the governing systems. Over time, religion has been both intertwined with state politics and separated from it. But why has religion, particularly Christianity, been seen in opposition to the state? And why has the Church been caught in conflicts regarding political power? To understand this, we must go back to the time of the prophets, the teachings of Jesus Christ, and the subsequent evolution of Christianity as a political and religious movement. Before we delve deeper into the relationship between politics and religion, we need to understand the role of the prophets in the Bible. In the Old Testament, prophets were sent to warn the people of Israel about straying from God's commandments and the dangers of idol worship and false gods. These warnings were not only spiritual but political, as many of the kings and rulers of Israel were prone to corruption and idolatry, leading the people away from the true worship of God. The prophets would often challenge the political systems of their time, calling out the immorality and injustice within the kingdom. This is an important background because it shows that the relationship between politics and religion has always been complex. Religious leaders often found themselves at odds with political rulers when the rulers strayed from moral and spiritual laws. Fast-forwarding to the time of Jesus Christ, the Gospels give us a crucial moment that reveals Jesus' stance on political power. In the book of John, there is a specific moment where Jesus is questioned about his kingship. In John 18:36, Jesus answers, "My kingdom is not of this world." This response is critical because it shows that Jesus was not seeking a political role or earthly authority. This verse reveals why the church and state should not be intertwined. If Jesus had accepted the title of king, he would have inevitably challenged the existing political authority of Herod Antipas and the Roman rulers. In fact, Jesus would have posed a direct threat to the political systems of his time. The refusal to claim kingship highlights that Jesus' mission was not about overthrowing governments or gaining political power, but fulfilling God's will and establishing a spiritual kingdom. By denying a political role, Jesus was also setting an example for his followers, a message that the kingdom of God transcends earthly power structures. Jesus' focus was on fulfilling a spiritual purpose, to save humanity, not to govern earthly kingdoms. After Jesus' death, his apostles, particularly Paul, continued his teachings and spread the message of Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. However, they also avoided political involvement. They understood the dangers of mixing faith with political power, recognizing that the political systems of their time were inherently corrupt and often morally bankrupt. Paul's teachings focused on how Christians should live according to the spirit of God's laws rather than the earthly laws imposed by secular rulers. The apostles did not seek to overthrow governments or engage in political power struggles. Instead, they preached about the hope of Christ, the resurrection, and the importance of living a life of love, humility, and grace. The early Christians were persecuted because of their refusal to conform to the political systems of the Roman Empire, but they remained steadfast in their faith. However, over time, Christianity began to shift from being a movement of spiritual renewal to becoming an institution intertwined with political power. In 1 John 2:18-19, the Apostle John speaks about the emergence of antichrists, individuals who once belonged to the Christian community but departed because their true nature was revealed. This marks a turning point in Christian history, where the movement began to evolve into an institutionalized religion. By 99 AD, Christianity was no longer just a spiritual movement. It had grown significantly in numbers, and with the political power of the Roman Empire behind it, Christianity began to institutionalize, blending with state power in various ways. As this happened, the focus of Christianity shifted from being a purely spiritual practice to something more aligned with political agendas.